welcome to lecture number 25, where we will be continuing with module number 3 under subject financial management. Now, this particular unit, that is sources of financing and cost of capital, we have completed the entire thing that was to be covered in this particular unit. We have also seen the case studies on WACC. We have seen question papers, problems coming in the examination from the previous question paper. We have solved those as well. Okay, today just we are left with a single problem, which I thought I wouldn't be covering in this session since I thought you would have solved it, but nevertheless we will solve it today. So today we will be covering problems on determination of WACC and marginal cost of capital. Now, is this particular screen clear to everyone? Is it visible to everyone? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
One more thing, I want it to be an interactive session. Okay, whatever I ask, I want a quick reply from you all so that it makes me feel that you all are attentive in the session as well. Okay, so let us begin. Sridhar Company Limited has the following financing mix. Okay, so what are the different financing mix? Let us see. It has an equity capital that is 10 lakh share at par value, that is rupees 100 lakhs. Okay, these figures are in lakhs. 12% preference share capital at 120 lakhs. Okay, can anyone tell me what is as per this particular information, what is the dividend rate for the preference shareholders? At what rate will the dividend be given to the preference shareholders?
12%.
12%.
Very good. So, very good. Retained earnings is 120 lakhs. Okay. 14% non-convertible debentures are there. That is 70,000 debentures at par value. That is 70 lakhs. Then 14% term loan is there. That is 100 lakhs. So total comes up to 400 lakhs. So this is the way the capital structure of Sridhar Company is built up with these different sources of capital. Now let us see the further information. The equity shares of the company are trading at rupees 25. Okay. The next expected dividend per share is rupees 2. And the DPS is growing at a rate of 8%. So in respect of cost of equity capital, we have all the particular information. We have D1, we have the market value of the equity shares, that is 25. We have the growth rate of the dividend, which is 8%. Next. So can anyone tell me, to calculate the cost of equity shares, which method are we going to follow? We have the dividend, we have the market price of the shares, we have the growth rate. So we know we have seen 5 models or 5 methods to calculate the cost of equity capital. So can anyone tell me, even if you don't know the exact name, but can anyone tell me which particular method are we going to use? Yes? Yes, students?
Dividend yield plus growth.
Very good. Next, now we first of all, equity capital, we know how to calculate its cost. Next, the preference shares are redeemable after 7 years at par and are currently quoted at currently quoted at 75 rupees 75 per share on stock exchanges. So students, now to calculate the cost of preference capital, tell me what are the 2 things that you need to consider. First, you need to consider whether whether the preference shares are redeemable or irredeemable. So can anyone tell me which formula are you going to use for redeemable formula or irredeemable formula? Yes, students?
Redeemable.
Okay, what is the number of period here? What is the time period going to be here? What is the time period going
7
to be
years.
here? Okay. Now, what is the
7
meaning
years.
of, okay, what is the meaning of redeemable?
Repayable.
Very good. Next, the debentures are redeemable after 6 years at par. Now, when I say repayment at par, what does that mean, students?
At face value, ma'am.
Very good. Means repayment is going to happen at face value, and the current market price is 90 per share. The tax rate applicable to the firm is 50%. What is the WAC? If what is the WAC of the company? It is not if the company, it is what is the WAC of the company. Now tell me, students, this particular tax rate of 50%, will it be applicable to while calculating the cost of equity capital? Yes,
No,
students.
ma'am.
Very good. And will it be applicable to calculate the cost of preference share capital?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Very good. Will it be applicable in calculating the cost of retained earnings? Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes,
Will it good? Will it be applicable in calculating the cost of debentures? Your debenture
Yes,
spelling is
ma'am.
wrong. Okay. Okay. Will it be applicable in calculating the cost of term loans? Will the tax rate be applicable in calculating the cost of term loans? Yes, students? Yes. Tell me. Yes, students, tell me. See, students, debentures is nothing but loan from debenture holders. Term loan is nothing but loan from the bank, correct? So can now with this logic, can you all tell me 4%, 14% term loan, will tax rate be applicable?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay. Now let us calculate the WAC. So now we have just discussed this particular problem. Now just let us put this in the form of solution. So this is again taken from question paper of June-July 2018. Okay. Now solution. Since cost of capital of each source is not given directly. So they have not directly given what is the cost of capital. So first we need to find the cost of capital for individual source of finance using the appropriate formulas. Okay, so let us first find out KE. Okay, so KE, as one student rightly said, that we are going to use the dividend yield plus growth method. So according to that, how do you calculate KE? D1 divided by market price plus growth rate into 100. Okay, now let us go back to the problem. Now, here we know that the dividend is 2, growth rate is 8%, market price is 25. We are just going to substitute these particular figures in the formula. So that is what we have done. 2 divided by 25 plus the growth rate, that is 0.08 into 100. You get the cost of equity capital as 16%. Is this clear to everyone? Yes? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We have already discussed this. It is just that we are putting it in the solution. Next, let us calculate the cost of KP. Since you all only told me that the cost or the KP is the formula that is to be used is for redeemable formula. So in case of redeemable formula, obviously you will have the repayment value, you will have the N, that is the number of years. Therefore, the formula is PD, that is preference dividend, plus RV minus NP divided by N. The whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 100. Now we have to derive these particular figures. So let us get these figures first from the formula. Oh, sorry, from the problem. So now 12% preference shares. So can anyone tell me what is the preference dividend here? At par value, so if it is 120, we take it as 120 lakhs divided by 10,000, so that is 100. So can anyone tell me What is going to be the par value? Yes, students? Yes? Students, if the par value is not mentioned, always assume the par value to be 100. So, can now anyone tell me what is going to be the preference dividend here? Yes, students?
12%.
12%. So 12 dividend is always calculated on the face value. Face value, the other name for face value is nothing but the par value. So 100 into 12%. So what will be the preference dividend in terms of rupees? Can anyone tell me? This percentage is always calculated on the face value, which is also called as the par value. So 12% of 100, what will be the preference dividend? Quick
12.
student. Very good. 12. Now they are redeem. See here, you can see the thing is they are redeemable after 7 years. So what is going to be n? N is going to be 7 at par. Now what is going to be the that is redeemable value? What is going to be the redeemable value? It is going to be 100 because we have taken the par value face value to be 100. Now it is currently quoted at 75 per share. So at what is the net proceeds the company will currently get if it is issuing the preference capital? The net proceeds it is going to get is 75. So we have got the dividend, that is 12, the number of years, that is 7, the repayment value as 100, and the net proceeds as 75. Now is this particular thing, whatever we had discussed, is it clear to everyone? Yes, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We are just going to put it in the form, just put the figures in the formula, that is PD is 12, RV 100 minus NP 75 whole divided by N, that is 7, the whole divided by 100 plus 75 divided by 2 into 100. And I've already discussed that how do we solve this particular equation, like this formula, how it is to be solved. First you have to minus RV minus NP, then divided by 7, keep PD as it is. Then solve the denominator. After solving the denominator, then to 12 you are going to add this particular value, divided the numerator divided by the denominator, and at the last you're going to multiply it with 100. So this we have already discussed multiple times in our previous lecture. Our next thing is to calculate KD. Okay, so now KD also we have to use the formula of redeemable debentures formula. Okay, now here again we have the interest rate, we have the RV, we have NP. Okay, and we have to take the tax rate as well. So let us see which are the figures we have to take. Excuse me. Okay, so can anyone tell me quickly what is going to be the I in this particular, in order to calculate cost of debentures, what is going to be the interest rate? Yes.
14%.
14%.
In terms of rupees, what is going to be? Always assume the par value to be 100 if nothing is mentioned. So can you all tell me, we have to just say everything in terms of rupees now, since we'll be putting it in the formula. So can anyone tell me what it is going to be? Quickly, what is the I going to be here? Yes?
14.
Okay. Tell me what is RV going to be here? See here, I will just show you this. What is RV going to be here in case of the debentures? RV is the repayment value. So can anyone tell me what it is going to be? Quick students, since we have solved so many problems, we can answer it quickly, right? It is redeemed at par. What is the par value we have considered?
100.
Yes. Okay, so then you'll have to tell RV is 100. Okay, what is the currently net proceeds? What the company will be getting, the NP? What is going to be the NP?
90%.
90.
Very good. What is going to be the N?
6
6
years.
years.
What is going to be the T? 1 minus tax rate. What is going to be the T?
50%.
Very good. Just put these figures in the formula. So we have put it here. That is I in the bracket RV minus NP divided by N, the whole divided by RV plus NP divided by 2 into 1 minus tax rate into 100. So whatever you all have told, you just put it in the form of formula. We have just put it, the figures in the formula. After solving this, you will get the KD as 8.25%. Next is to calculate the KL. So can anyone tell me, you know that how to calculate KL is interest rate in the bracket 1 minus tax rate into 100. So can anyone tell me here, what is the interest rate that you're going to take in respect of term loan? Yes?
14%.
10%.
14%.
And the tax rate is 50%. So here you're just taking it as 14 and 1 minus tax rate into 100. So is this particular thing clear to everyone? Yes, students?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next we go is to solve the WACC. They are telling here is in the problem that you have to calculate the WACC of the company. So what we have to do when we calculate the WACC of the company? First of all, we need to write first the sources, then the amount, then the weights, then after writing the weights, we need to write the cost, and then we need to find out the weighted cost. So what you have to do is first write the sources, okay, then write the amounts. Now can anyone tell me how are we removing the weights here? Yes, students, and what is the meaning of weights? Yes? Yes, students? Quick, students. See, these figures we have directly taken from the problem. Okay, here the problem has the figures. So these figures we have directly taken from the problem. Now, can anyone tell me how did we derive at the weights? Yes? Yes? Yes,
Ma'am, for the
students?
first one, 100 divided by 400.
What is the meaning of weights?
Cost of different sources.
Yes? What is the meaning of weights? Yes?
Share of each source in the total amount.
Proportion of each source of capital in the total capital. Okay, that is simple. That is, you have to divide this particular amount of preferentials divided by the total capital, then retained earnings divided by the total capital, debentures divided by total capital, and term loan divided by total capital. You remove the weights, then after tax cost you have to remove whatever we have, pound it out, that you have to write in after tax cost. Now next, can anyone tell me how do we derive at the weighted cost? What do you mean by weighted cost and how we derive at this weighted cost? Yes? Yes, students? How, what is the meaning of weighted cost and how do we derive at weighted cost? Yes? Yes, students? The answer also is there in the slide itself. That is, it is 3 into 4. So weighted cost is nothing but the weight into the cost. So that is the meaning of weighted cost, weight into the cost. So simply you're going to multiply 0.25 into 16. You're going to multiply 0.025 into 17.79, then 0.3 into 16, because we know that KR is equals to KE. that is 4.8, then 0.175 into 8.25 and 0.25 into 7. So when you take the total of all this, you get the weighted average cost of capital as 12.44%. Now, is this problem clear to everyone? Yes, students? Yes? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now can you all tell me what is the meaning of weighted cost? Yes, students? Yes, students? What is the meaning of weighted cost? The weights that are assigned to the individual source of finance, when you're multiplying with the cost related to the individual source of finance, you're going to get the weighted cost. That shows that weighted cost is a combined cost, overall cost, considering the total finance that is raised by the company. Okay. Now, let me ask you one simple question, since everyone has understood this particular problem. Yes? Everyone has
Yes,
understood this
ma'am.
problem? Okay, so let me ask you a question in this problem itself. Okay, I told you all retained earnings. Should we consider tax in this? When I discussed it earlier, I said, should we consider tax in it? What was your answer? What was your answer? Or what was my answer
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well? Yes, we should consider. Okay, so can anyone tell me why have we not considered tax in it while in the solution? While discussing this, we said, yes, we have to consider tax in it. But in our solution, we have not considered tax in it. If you'll observe, we have taken the KE cost same as KR cost. Okay. Whereas when we have solved KE, we have not considered tax. So can anyone tell me why we have not considered this particular tax here? Okay, let me tell you. See, you have to consider tax while calculating retained earnings, but the simple thing why we do not consider tax in our solution is because this is tax rate applicable to the firm. It is not personal tax rate. See, for retained earnings, if personal tax is given, when I say personal tax means the tax applicable to the shareholder. Since retained earnings is nothing but the savings which the equity shareholders would get, okay, who are the owners of the company. For them, the tax rate applicable will be the individual personal tax rate. Now, this is a tax rate that is applicable to the firm. Therefore, we have not considered the tax, the calculation of tax in this particular thing. Suppose if they would have given the personal tax of the shareholders, or the personal tax is suppose 25%, that time you would have considered that particular tax in solving the problem for retained earnings. But here they have told the tax rate applicable to the firm. So if it is to the firm, it is not a personal tax rate. Okay, is this clear now? For debentures and
Yes,
term
ma'am.
loans, the tax rate applicable to the firm will apply. To the retained earnings, the tax rate will apply, but not relating to the firm. It is going to be the personal tax rate that is going to be applicable. Now, is it clear, everyone? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Thank you